You are dead! Not a big surprise!
Tactical nuke incoming!
How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video, doing some more commentary stuff, especially when it comes to rebuttaling K9-Aversion and her fear-mongering every time she uploads a video or posts something in her commentary page for YouTube. So, without further delay, why don't we go ahead and get into this whole biased video that she posted about guide dogs. Yay!
I have often thought that having to look after and care for a dog compounds the dilemma of being blind. Dog apologists go on a lot about guide dogs, as if they are some kind of four-legged GPS system.
Now, in case people are wondering, I've never heard of a guide dog, a quick wiki search will tell you that guide dogs are assistant dogs trained to lead blind or visually impaired people around obstacles. Although dogs can be trained to navigate various obstacles, they are red/green, colorblind, and incapable of interpreting street signs.
When all they are able to do is walk in the middle of the pavement and respond to a small number of simple commands. A visually impaired woman by the name of Diane McGeorge wrote the following article, which I have shared with you in previous videos. This is very important information that we should all be aware of. She writes that unfortunately, many orientation and mobility teachers do not themselves believe that blind people are capable of safe, independent travel, and thus build in many fears and limitations in their students. I do not believe this is intentional on the part of the teachers, but rather stems from their limiting, stereotypic attitudes about blindness. After all, how can mobility instructors build confidence and security in their students when they themselves lack that fundamental faith in the abilities of blind people? Too many blind people believe that a dog guide will solve any problems they may be experiencing with their travel skills. The dog works on commands only. It does not possess any amazing power or sense of direction. The user must be in control at all times and give the dog the appropriate commands and directions. Another misconception is that the dog guide will identify buildings that the traveler may wish to find. The user must always have good information and good travel skills at his command in order to be an effective dog guide user. I think it is important to remember that a dog guide has some inherent limitations simply because it is an animal. Although it is generally recognized that there is little difference between the competent use of a dog guide and the competent use of a cane, the responsibility incurred with the former technique is indeed far greater. That is very important. It is generally recognized that there is little difference between using a cane and using a dog guide. Simply put, one need not feed, groom, or vaccinate one's cane, and one must realize that the decision to get a dog guide must not be undertaken without consideration of the accompanying responsibilities.
You know, fun fact, since I seen a little bit ahead of this video, one thing that she doesn't read, or at least K9-Aversion does, is what this person writes is, whether or not you choose to use a cane or a dog, the key to independent travel lies in the high level of self-confidence. Making this decision is a very personal choice and is important to respect each person's individual.
Of course!
But let's be fair here. This is coming from K9-Aversion. She's not. If you have a seeing eye dog, she's not going to respect your decision to having a dog over a cane. More than likely, she's going to shun you or shame you for having a dog and making it seem like you're a public nuisance. Don't believe me? This is what she says, continuing the video.
You know, there's the responsibility of taking care of your dog, getting it vaccinated, and so on. But you also have a responsibility to the public.
Yeah, this is coming from the lady who spreads false information about an animal that she continuously lies about to her audience that is already afraid of it.
Oh, hi there, Kettle. Name's Pat. Have we met?
And this is something that people are forgetting. All dogs produce waste, which is untreated. They don't pee and poop in toilets. This waste spreads disease. Virtually all dogs are infested with worms to some degree, even if they are regularly dewormed.
You know, this kind of goes back to my comment about her not actually talking about human issues. I mean, when it comes down to waste or things that are produced by dogs that could be harmful to humans, she doesn't go over or at least discuss, some of the things that humans do that could be harmful to each other. Like, for instance, people washing or not washing their hands after using the bathroom, or if anything, when it comes down to, them, wiping their own asses. There's a variety of other things that, humans do that more likely cause more sickness than what dogs will probably, introduce to the human body to humans. Just saying.
Their feces, even traces of it that are left behind after you pick it up, can spread zoonotic disease to humans.
True, but there are also ways to prevent or stop the spread of these particular diseases. But unfortunately, you don't care about that information, do you? Unfortunately, your whole narrative is, let's just ban dogs! All because they spread one or two diseases. I know I sound very callous when I say this, or at least, saying that, but hear me out. If we were to ban dogs for some of the things or diseases that they carry, worms, etc., then wouldn't that imply when it comes down to any other disease that is presented to humans, wouldn't that mean that we would probably start banning, or at least trying to exclude people from society for having certain diseases? What about AIDS? Heck, what about freaking herpes, for that matter? That spreads from human to human. Are we just going to start isolating or banishing people to an island or something because they carry a particular disease that could be harmful to humans? Now, in a second, she also goes about allergies and stuff, and it's the same argument. Is if you're really going to ban one thing, then, and if we're going to be very fearful of one in particular thing, then why not just ban everything out of culture or society? And the answer is, one, it'd be too difficult, and two, at this point, when it comes down to, things like dogs or a variety of other things that we have in our society, there's a sort of risk and reward type deal, where we've had a variety of different things that have influenced our society, and to some extent there is some risk to it, but at the same time there's also a guaranteed reward, or I guess, if anything, I don't want to say drawback, but there's something that, comes from that introduction to society. A variety of different animals that we've domesticated, there's been some reward from that. Sure, again, there is some drawbacks to that, but at the same time, the rewards outweigh the risks. But unfortunately, somebody like K9-Aversion doesn't see that and would rather live a sheltered life instead of actually thinking about the bigger picture.
Life forms, you tiny little life forms, you precious little life forms, where are you?
Your medical equipment should not sicken the public. 15% of people are allergic to dogs. No matter how well you groom your dog, no matter how well trained or well looked after it is, it sheds dander. This dander sickens the public. Even long after the dog is gone, it's easy to say, and dog worshippers will say this often. They'll just say, well, just don't approach the dog. Don't go near the dog. If you step into a taxi or you board an airplane where a dog has been, even if the dog was there weeks ago, if the plane or the taxi has not been deep cleaned, and they rarely are.
Okay, so, because, again, we know that you want to try to ban dogs, so let's go back to my previous argument. There are people that are allergic to peanuts. Do we just outright ban peanuts because people are definitely allergic to it? Do we ban, a variety of different fruits and vegetables because people are allergic to it? What about fish or shellfish? Do we, to a great degree, ban or stop selling a variety of different foods because there are certain people that are allergic to it? The answer is no. Nobody's going to do that. Because at this point, and I hate to use this as the argument, but due to it being, so intergrained into our society, they aren't going to just immediately, just because one person is offended or allergic, is going to completely expunge something from society. Especially when it comes to dogs. They've become a huge part of our society when it comes to our domestic animals. Now, for the rest of the video, because I don't want to bore you guys with it, she continues to talk about, people who are afraid of dogs, this and that, which I have to give my argument that, if anything, when it comes down to, people who are afraid, again, I understand that people are afraid of dogs, but at the same time, I don't approve of this radical fear-mongering that K9-Aversion tries to pull. As well as, when it comes down to this particular video, she showcases, I guess, people who are creating inventions that are supposed to help the blind or visually impaired, and tries to make this try to kind of set this up as this might be the, new alternative to dogs, or seeing eye dogs and, using a cane or so on. Trying to make the argument that apparently they are going to be, less affordable than dogs. Though, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I mean, especially with, improving technology that would more likely, or devices that would, help an individual who is blind or visually impaired, I would probably assume that, trying to wait for, let's say, if you were to get the choice between the seeing eye dog or this new robot or device that would help you move around or navigate into a city or local area, I would probably assume that it's either, and as well as the wait time, is either going to be the same or more when it comes down to wait time and cost than, getting a seeing eye dog or getting a cane. I don't know, but it's ridiculous, because this lady, one, is delusional, and two, doesn't understand, anything about technology. Especially when, technology itself, as it expands and becomes better over time, will more likely cost more and more for an individual to try to, obtain it. A good example would probably be, probably the worst. I don't know if you would say it's the best example or the worst, but a good example, let's say the entertainment industry, when you have the newest consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, where the higher the quality of the device, the greater the cost is. So, I don't know. Me personally, when it comes down to it, I wouldn't be surprised if these robots or devices that will help people who are blind or visually impaired will cost a lot more than just getting, a dog who is trained to navigate through certain scenarios. And that's all the dog does, really, is navigate through certain scenarios. And when it comes down to it, I think the person said it best in the article that she showcased and that she failed to finish reading, where the person says, the key to independent travel lies in the high level of self-confidence, and making this decision is basically an important choice. And it is important, keyword important, for people to respect each person's decision. But K9-Aversion, she's not going to do that, because if you have a dog, then you are a monster. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below. And I almost forgot, if you guys have anything you'd like to add, leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.